One of the biggest worries a lot of publishers and authors on Amazon KDP have is around getting their accounts suspended or terminated. It's frustrating and can be heartbreaking when you've put in all that work to create your book, you're receiving an income, only to find that you can no longer log into your account, or you receive an email to say that your account has been shut down. So we're going to look at the three main common reasons why this occurs, and one reason in particular that I've seen on the rise of late from the number of emails and messages I get around this. And I'm also going to give you some solutions, some advice on hopefully how to prevent this happening to your account, because prevention is better than cure. Now, if you're not a business channel before, then welcome. My name is Paul Miles and I do videos on how to make it, keep it and grow it. And that's your money I'm talking about. If you do like videos like that, then please do give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell. Okay, so the first main issue is around duplicate content. Now, that mainly affects those books that are nowadays called medium content books, colouring books, activity books, puzzle books, kids' educational books. Those books where the content on each page is different. It doesn't so much affect those no content and low content books, such as line journals and notebooks, graph paper books, dot grid journals and log books. However, I do get emails, quite a lot of them, asking if it's okay to publish 50 or 100 of, say, a mileage logbook. Well, theoretically, yes, you might get away with it. Would I advise it? No. I'd advise maybe creating a maximum of 3 to 4 books in a niche and concentrating more on the quality of the covers and interiors that you create. It's always a risk, even if you start producing that sort of quantity of any type of book. Now, why is this a problem with those medium content books? Well, because Amazon's ethos has always been to provide a good customer experience. And you can imagine that if someone goes and buys, say, a colouring book on Amazon, they receive it, they're happy with it, and then they decide to go and buy another, they receive it and find that the interior is identical to one they've already purchased, it's going to lead to a very angry customer. And then Amazon, KDP are going to come looking at your account. And what you don't want to do is attract attention to your account. You always want to be looking to try and fly under the radar if you can. And this can lead to getting your account terminated. So what are some possible solutions, advice I can give you? Well, first of all, if you're going to be getting images from sites like Creative Fabrica, Vecteezy, Design Bundles, Envato Elements, I suggest mixing and matching different graphics with, say, backgrounds. So you may have a particular background with 1 or 2 images over the front, or it could be a quote. I have done videos on that, which you can find in my KDP colouring book playlist. In that way, if you do that, the chances of someone else creating an identical book is very slim. Now, if you're using a ready-made interior off a site like Creative Fabrica, I would advise editing that interior on a platform like, I don't know, Adobe Photoshop, Illustrator, Affinity Designer, Inkscape, and making changes to that interior and making significant changes in case someone else has bought that interior and is using it also and has already published it on Amazon. I'd also be careful if you're buying interiors direct from a creator on sites like Fiverr or Upwork. What I would make sure you ask is whether this interior has been created for anyone else and whether it's a one-off original interior. The other solution, which is probably the best solution, is to learn how to create these interiors yourself using an image editing platform like those I've just mentioned, Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, Affinity Designer, Inkscape or Graphic Designer. In that way, you're learning a very valuable skill, and then you can be guaranteed that the interiors you create are original and that you can use them commercially, and you're not breaking any copyright laws as well, providing you don't use images that are already copyrighted, that is. And also, they are vital skills. They're very useful skills to learn, because you could also provide those image creation services yourself on sites like Fiverr, Upwork, and on Creative Fabrica. So it's a skill that you could learn to create and build a business online and earn some extra money online. And it's something I absolutely recommend if you can do it. There's loads of free videos on YouTube to learn these types of software platforms nowadays. Okay, the second thing, and this is the thing that I've seen on the rise of late, and that is around incorrect categories. Over the last 3 to 4 months, I've received lots of messages and emails from distraught publishers and authors telling me that they've had their accounts terminated because KDP has said that their books have been in the wrong category. Now, if you go onto Amazon and look at a lot of books, you'll notice that they have been published in categories that are irrelevant to the book. Now, you may ask, well, why would a publisher do this? Well, one of the main reasons is, it could be a genuine mistake, but one of the main reasons is this. If a book is published in, say, an obscure category, where that book gets a high ranking in that category, and hopefully that #1 category, it means that that book can then get that orange bestsellers badge, which does look good on a book and does attract customers and probably increases sales. But Amazon is starting to frown upon this, and in fact seems to be banning accounts outright. Now, often you may find that you get a warning, but if you've got a lot of books that are in the wrong category, you may just get an outright ban. But just be aware, it can be a genuine mistake that you make. So my advice is go through that list of categories on the KDP dashboard thoroughly and only pick 2 categories that you think are relevant to your book. Now, if you can't find relevant categories, it's probably better not to put your book in a category at all rather than pick a wrong category. There are tools out there where you can put in a search term and find hopefully relevant categories to your books. One such tool is Publisher Rocket, which does have such a facility in there. It's also a very good keyword search tool, which is something that I use in the publishing of my books. And also, on a side note, if you find when you're doing your research on Amazon that a book is in a category that you can't find in that category list on the KDP platform, then you can always send a message, email KDP support via the help pages and request that your book is put in that category. Now, the third problem, and that is copyright and trademark infringement. And Amazon really has a zero tolerance policy on this. It appears to be that if you do infringe this once, you'll get your account terminated or banned. So you really need to be careful with this. And one of the biggest culprits I see around this is using images or phrases or terms related to Disney and Marvel characters. So this could be phrases, words you've used in your title and subtitle, and images most commonly used on the cover of your books, but it could be images used on the interior of your books. So my advice is this: if you are using a keyword or phrase that you're unsure about, go along to the USPTO.gov website, go to the trademark search tool, put in that phrase or term and do a search and see if there is a trademark on that phrase. If it's an image and you want to check whether this image is copyrighted or being used elsewhere, go and do a Google reverse image search. And it's quite easy. You go along to Google Images, you take your image, drag it in to the search box, and then look at the search results. And the main thing you want to look at is whether this image is listed on any of those big stock photo websites such as iStock Photo. Because if it is, and you use that image, they will come after you. I think they must use some sort of tool that searches on a big database regularly whether any particular image they've got listed on their site is used on any other sites. So the aim of this video is not to cause undue concern or worry. It's just to make you aware of the potential issues and hopefully prevent you making any of these mistakes. Now, if you are new to this publishing business, then I suggest watching this book tutorials playlist next, where I go through all the stages of creating these types of books and publishing them on Amazon. Thank you very much for your time. It is very much appreciated. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and until next time, goodbye.